That was very beautiful.
Oh.
And I understood maybe a hair of it.
I understood 0% of that.
Hi, I'm Swasti.
Hi, I'm Jenny.
And today we're going to be identifying Indian languages.
This might be really embarrassing, but we'll see.
I don't know that I'm going to do that well.
Yeah.
Just because there's so many
there's
languages.
A lot.
There's so many. There's 22, I think, official languages.
So I'm Indian and Filipino, and I grew up speaking English. My mom speaks Ilonggo and Tagalog, and my dad speaks Hindi, but mostly Gujarati.
That's 4 languages.
I know, and I didn't get to learn any of them, just basic words.
My parents are from Uttar Pradesh, and they taught me Hindi and English growing up. All right, I guess let's bring person number 1 in.
Yeah, let's give it a try.
I don't want to offend anyone.
All right, so we're gonna blindfold ourselves to heighten our senses.
Oh, I'm so anxious already.
Hi, na
Hello.
peru
Hello.
Sumana.
Ooh, that's very pretty.
Thanks.
Can you say more things?
రెండేళ్ళప్పుడు అమెరికాకి వచ్చినాను ఇంట్లో అమ్మ నాన్న ఇద్దరు ఈ భాష మాట్లాడినారు అందుకని నాకు కూడా వచ్చు ఈ భాషని బ్రిటిష్ వాళ్ళు ఇటాలియన్ ఆఫ్ ది ఈస్ట్ అంటారు
It sounds really nice, and I really wish I could understand more of it. Also, she has a great voice, so.
So soothing, honestly.
Yeah, very soothing voice. It's definitely not Gujarati, and I don't think it's Hindi, so that narrows down not very much.
So I have friends who speak Kannada, and I don't want to say it sounds similar if this is not similar at all.
కన్నడ పక్క స్టేట్లో మాట్లాడతారు
I didn't understand any of that. God damn it.
Bengali?
I'll also go with Bengali.
What makes you think that?
Absolutely nothing.
She said.
Just kidding. Name the state.
Yeah, she said state, so, and that doesn't really help.
Hey. So the language I was speaking was Telugu.
Oh, damn it! That's what I thought. Maybe.
Yep.
I have friends from South India.
Okay.
And they do speak Kannada. And it does sound kind of similar. Is there any sort of like overlapping similarity?
So the 4 languages in South India that are primarily spoken, Kannada, Telugu, Tamil, and Malayalam.
Okay.
And they are all in like 4 states around there. I lived in India for a couple of years, and when you go to school there, they like force you to learn 3 languages pretty like fluently. But right now, I would say I'm only like confident in English and Telugu. So one way to say goodbye in Telugu is velosta, which means like I'll see you again later.
Velosta.
Okay,
Yeah.
Velosta.
Or velostam, which means we'll come back. Like we'll see you again later.
Velostam.
Velosta. Yeah.
Velosta.
हाय इंडिया में 44% लोग इस भाषा में बात करते हैं और ज़्यादातर लोग नॉर्थ इंडिया में इस भाषा में बात करते हैं मेरे घर में हम हिंदी में बहुत सारी बातें करते हैं मेरे पापा के साथ मैं हिंदी में बात करती हूँ और मेरी माँ बंगाली है तो उनके साथ मैं बंगाली में बात करती हूँ
दोनों languages पता है आपको?
जी
This is Hindi.
Yep, Swasti is responding. And she said she could speak Hindi, so I'm gonna go with that.
Hello.
Hi. Exciting, you got it.
We got it. We got one.
Oh, perfect. We love to see it. A lot of our family still lives back in India, so we don't have a ton of family who lives in the U.S. And so we feel FOMO with all of our other family members always hanging out. So I always go back to see like my cousins and my grandparents. And it's super fun. And so I think my Hindi is definitely like improved because growing up I just went a ton.
You were saying like the bigger words, you know, because like I speak conversationally, but
Yeah.
you had like obviously a much more rooted sense of Hindi than I do.
Aw, it was my mom in my Uber this morning where I was like, Mom, how do I say like national government? How do I say like 44? And she was like, okay, now calm down, like you're gonna be fine. So I don't actually speak like this great, so shout out to my mom.
How do you say nice to meet you in Hindi?
आपको मिलके खुशी हुई.
Apkar milkwe kushewe.
Close enough. Bye, it was nice to meet
So
you
nice
guys.
to meet
Nice to
you.
meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Hi.
Hello.
How are you guys?
Good.
Good,
how are you?
thanks.
I'm good. আমার নাম আরাবি। আমি ঢাকায় জন্ম হয়েছি। আমি এখন লস অ্যাঞ্জেলেসে থাকি। আমি 22 বছর। আর লাস্ট ইয়ার গত বছর আমি ইউসি বার্কলি থেকে গ্র্যাজুয়েট করছি।
That was very beautiful.
Wow.
And I
Amazing.
understood maybe a hair of it.
I understood 0% of that.
আমি তো আমেরিকা জন্ম হই নাই, তো যেখানে আমি জন্ম হয়েছি ওখানে সবাই ভাষায় কথা বলে। আর এখন আমি বলতে পারি, বাট বেশি ভালো করে বলতে পারি না। সো আমার মেইন যে ল্যাঙ্গুয়েজ আমি এখন কথা বলি, যে ভাষায় কথা বলি, ইংলিশ।
You know what's weird? I understand some of this.
Oh yeah?
There's a bit of it, and I feel like
What are you understanding?
I'm understanding Pasha is
Okay.
language. Someone was 8, your little brother, Chota Bai, that overlaps a little with
Yeah.
Hindi. Urdu is something I think of, but this doesn't sound to me like Urdu. But I could be wrong, because like, what do I know?
They all sound very similar.
Yeah, I know, that's...
Yeah.
They're like dialects.
But also, you said that the place where it's spoken has an overlap with the name itself of the language, is what. So that's why I'm like, maybe this is Bengali.
Yeah, let's go with that.
Hello.
Hello.
This is definitely Bengali, so you got it.
Yay.
I did
Yeah.
not realize there was like an overlap with Hindi.
Oh my gosh, it's very, very similar. I grew up speaking both because they're so close. I couldn't say I grew up in Bangladesh because that would have given it away. Yeah, and then it's spoken in West Bengal, which I also could not say
Right.
because that would
Right.
have given it away.
Do you know whether they both maybe came from Sanskrit or something?
Yes, they're.
Okay.
I think most of those Indian languages are derived from Sanskrit.
Right.
That's why they sound so familiar.
Sanskrit is an ancient language, and a lot of languages were pulled from it, basically. It was the base language that was spoken many, many, many years ago. And like, there's some people who still speak it, but not so much anymore. It's been parsed out through different languages.
It's supposed to be like one of the most beautiful languages, and if I could like figure out how to read it or learn anything about it, I would. Like one word can mean like a whole paragraph of meaning, which is so incredible.
So most people will just say goodbye, but if you want to do it the traditional way, people will say salam. It means God, peace be upon you, or like God be with you in Arabic, because a lot of people in Bangladesh are Muslim, and so that's what we say. We say salam. All right, it was
Yeah.
great meeting you guys.
Nice meeting you.
You too.
Salam.
Salam.
Aujo.
Bye.
That was a dope experience.
Really cool. Very challenging.
Usually I would have been like, oh, maybe this is Kannada, maybe this is Tamil, maybe this is Telugu, and I only did one of those guesses, and then I freaked out.
We got 2 out of 3 though, so that's not too bad.
No, it's not
Yeah.
shabby. It's not shabby. I learned that Bengali and Hindi have an overlap.
I thought it was really interesting that there's a lot of Arabic intertwined in that language too, so I didn't know that.
It was like borderline ASMR because they all spoke so eloquently, and so it was so calming.
A lot of people don't really know that there are so many different languages in India, so it is really fascinating to be able to hear some of the ones that I actually have never heard.
I can't necessarily tell them all apart, but they all sound great.